What's good, YouTube? So, I'm a man of my word. Here's my second video. Little late night discussion. It's about to get real. About to get real up in here. As you can see behind me, it's late outside. It's around 9:30, which is typically the time where I'm in my feelings. So, what better way to discuss topics than in your feelings, which happens to me all the time. Um, so mainly, I want this channel to be a fitness channel designed to help people live a flexible lifestyle, along with being active, being healthy, and being fit, but finding that balance, which is hard sometimes because I find myself at times off balance. Because you could say a couple weeks ago I had the body that I really wanted to maintain, wanted to keep, but it was 5.7% body fat, and I only weighed 118 pounds, so that's not very sustainable. So you have to. So this whole channel is going to be dedicated to lifestyle, flexible dieting, making sure that we're healthy, but at the same time trying to remain active and fit and find that healthy balance. But this is not the topic of this video. So, like I said before, I want to make 2 videos a day. I want to make one video during the day talking about a fitness, exercise, nutrition related topic. And when night falls, I want to talk about something a little more deep, something a little more lines for all the Christians out there. As I'm a believer in Christ. Religion to me is very important in the way that I live my life, and I want to share that with everybody. And I know sometimes it can be hard. Speaking from a Christian standpoint, living in a world that has a certain viewpoint as to how they view Christians. A lot of people look at us and think that we're just trying to get people to follow Jesus, or we're just trying to get people to conform to the way that we think, and that the way that we think is the only thing that is right in the world, the only primary thing. And I'm not going to speak for everybody, but that's not what I believe. This is what I believe. So what I believe is everybody is entitled to their own viewpoint. We all have freedom, right? The freedom of religion, the freedom of speech. And so thankful that we live in a country where we have all this freedom, right? I mean, that's what the 4th of July celebrates, right? Independence Day. So thankful for that. But I feel like there is we'll talk about my beliefs. I feel that it's not my place to judge somebody on how they live their life or what they believe in, because ultimately that's their life and they're entitled to what they believe in and how they want to live their life. I have no say in that. I'm responsible for my life. I'm responsible for how I live. And ultimately what I believe is important to me, and it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. But for me, it matters to God what I believe. So that's just my viewpoint on it. I don't judge other people. I don't judge how they live. I have friends who are believers. I have friends who are non-believers. I'm not gonna only hang out with my believer friends just because they believe in the same thing that I do, and not hang out with the people who don't believe and think that they're inferior to me just because they don't believe what I believe. No, that's not the case at all. And I'm not saying that people who don't believe in Christ, people who aren't Christians, are not good people. Um, it's just I believe that we're all entitled to freedom. I believe we're all entitled to the way that we choose our life. But there are things in the Bible that I also believe very strongly in. But I don't want to get too in depth with that. I just want to talk about a Bible verse and elaborate on it and get into a little bit of a discussion with that. So 5 minutes into the video, starting the topic. I wear this wristband every day. I don't take this off, ever. It is a verse from Romans 12:2. And what it says is I need to read it. Okay, so it says, "Do not be conformed to the patterns of this world, but be renewed by the transforming of your mind, so that you may demonstrate the pleasing, the good, and the perfect will of God." A couple things stand out to me in that verse. The first sentence, "Do not be conformed to the world." I've always felt that I'm not like other people. And everybody's different, okay? Everybody has different genetics. Everybody has different personalities. There's no one person in this world that is exactly like you, right? That being said, I've always felt like I stood out. I've always felt like kind of like the oddball, like the quirky, weird kid. And and I don't know if anyone else experiences this, but in school, I've always felt not pressure to conform to what's popular or what's relevant nowadays in regards to what kids do, but there was always a sense of wanting to belong. I feel as humans, our nature is to want to be liked, and I don't care who you are, but everybody has the desire to be liked. Okay, you can say that, oh, I don't care what people think, all this other stuff. That's BS. Okay, that's straight BS. Everybody has a certain degree of how much they care about what some people think. Okay? Like the people that are closest to you, their opinions are gonna matter more. And if you were the type of person that really didn't care what anybody thought, you wouldn't have any friends. I don't know anybody who survives without friends. We're social creatures. We're naturally social, interactive creatures. Okay, we need people to survive. We need to help each other out. That's why I'm here. And I'm not saying that I have all the answers, because I don't. I really don't. I'm just, all I'm doing is putting a camera in front of my face and talking. That's all I'm doing. And even with this whole YouTube thing, this is a little bit of a rant, but I just want to make this clear. With this whole YouTube thing, I'm not doing this for fame. It used to be a desire for mine. It's not the case anymore. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this to help people. I'm doing this to help anybody. Through my discussions, through these verses, through exercising, through the tips, everything. I just want to help people. That's all I want to do. I've always had a compassion for helping people. I believe my calling in life is to help people. And I want to do that based on what I know and what I've experienced and what I've went through. I feel that's the best way that I can go about doing that. So going back to the verse. So do not be conformed to the pattern of the world. That's the first part. That's such a powerful message. Don't be conformed to the world. You see the patterns of the world, right? You see how everybody else lives. This is telling you right here, don't look at that. Don't feel that you need to live a certain way based on what you see, based on what you perceive. And then what I love about this is it offers a solution. But be transformed. Transformed, key word. I love that word, transformed. But be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So what it's saying is you need to change the way your mind perceives things, the way your mind sees things. You know, in Christians, we talk about looking through the Spirit. And what that means is you're not looking at things in a logical way. Like you're not looking at things the way that they are. You're looking at something in the way how it pleases God, how it relates to your being, how it can affect you. You're not looking at it in one direction, right? That's what this is saying. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So it's saying that you have to completely transform the way that your mind thinks, the way that your mind processes information. It's a really big statement. That's a huge, huge statement, and that's so hard to do. I have trouble with it all the time. It's so hard to change the way that you think, especially when you've been doing it all your life. You know, we get into these habits, certain habits of thinking a certain way and perceiving things a certain way. One of my big downfalls is I get paranoid. I get paranoid and I jump to conclusions very quickly because I'm not really patient. And I can't tell you how many times that has ended disastrous for me. Never benefited me at all. And I still do it. It's crazy. So this is saying right here, the Bible is a study guide on how it can help you in life. That's what the Bible is used for. It is a tool. Okay? Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So changing the way that your mind perceives information, the way that you view things, the way that the mind interprets information, that has to be transformed. So that you may prove what is the good, pleasing, and perfect will of God. So what does that mean? So the last part, so since you have a transformed mind, right, you're not going to be like other people. So this is saying that the world, it's in a certain pattern, okay? The world is, to live in the world, you have to conform to the pattern of it, right? And if you don't, you're going to stand out. And if you stand out, you're not. What am I trying to say? If you're not conformed to the pattern of the world, you're going to stand out. And if you stand out, you're not going to be able to live the life. You're not going to be able to live or thrive. That's what the world says. But according to the Bible, the tool that helps you through life, helps as a guide, is meant to support you, says something different. It says you have to transform your mind. So when you transform your mind, what happens? When you transform your mind, you view things differently, right? So you view things differently, you interpret information differently, you see things differently. And when you see things differently, that's going to reflect your outer personality. So mind in here. So the way that you see things and you interpret things, it's going to affect how you look on the outside, right? So it's going to affect your mood. It's going to affect the way that you look on the outside. So this is saying through that, you can demonstrate what is the good, pleasing, and perfect will of God. So, big question. What is the good, pleasing, and perfect will of God? That's a big question. It's a very big question. And I probably did not realize how big of a question that was until I actually said it out loud. But this is good. This is why we're doing this. What is the good, pleasing, and perfect will of God? I don't think there is a universal answer to that question. I think that's going to be a different question based on the different individual. Through Christian beliefs, we believe that everybody was created in the image of God, right? He created us in His image, sent us into this world for a purpose to serve. It says in the Bible that you serve a purpose. That's why you're here. That's why you're on in the earth, on the world, right? Because the earth is not our home. Our home is in heaven. The world is where we serve a purpose. Why we were created. Why we're here. We don't leave until that purpose has been served. So what is the good, pleasing, and perfect will of God? My opinion is to walk in our purpose and serve what we were created to do. And that is such a broad statement, right? I mean, no one can really say, like, man, that's crazy. No one can really say, you know, I'm here and I'm going to do this and I know this is my purpose and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's your purpose, but what is God's purpose? What is God's will for your life? Because that can be different from what you desire. Right? Oh, I want to live this way. I want to have this much money. I want to live in this house, blah, blah, blah. But is that the perfect, pleasing, and good will of God? If that answer is no, there's a good chance that you're probably not going to get that. And even if you do obtain it, what does it matter? When we die, we don't take our possessions with us. Whether you believe in heaven or hell or not, when you die, the only thing that goes with you is your soul. You can't take anything from this world with you when you die. So, I'm not trying to get anybody to conform to what I believe in through this video. That's not the purpose of this at all. The purpose of this video is just to share the way that I live my life, the way that others live their life, and that we can talk about it. YouTube is a great platform because it gives people the opportunity to display themselves, to be vulnerable, to show other people that, hey, what you're going through is rough. Been through the same thing. So I know where you've been, and I know it sucks. I know it hurts. But that's why we have YouTube. That's why we have the Bible. That's why we have all these tools available to us to get through life. Life is hard. Life is hard. Life is rough. You think you got it all figured out, and it completely can just knock you over and walk right over you and not look back. It's rough. But that's why we have things like this, to help each other. Trying to help people as much as I can. Love these deep discussions with you, by the way. I was going to actually bring some tissues just in case the waterworks started flowing, but not the case tonight. So I want to leave with this. I talked a little bit about my wristband and why I wear it in the verse. Have a devotional that I want to read, and that's kind of what I'll probably be doing every night, is just going through my devotional, reading it, and just kind of giving my thoughts on it. So my devotional for July 9th is talking about neighbor. How am I to love my neighbor? So what it says is, it is good when you truly obey your Lord's royal command found in the scriptures, love your neighbor as yourself. That's from James chapter 2, verse 8. So, loving yourself as your neighbor. And what it also says, Jesus said it is the second greatest commandment. If we truly love others the way God intended, we will naturally carry out all of God's other instructions for service. See, there's that word again, serve. We have a purpose, we serve that purpose. Love directed inward has nowhere else to go. Love directed outward can change the world one person at a time. It's all about love. It's all about good old wholesome love. It can hurt, but it can also heal. It can heal more than it can hurt. That's a quote. Quote me on that one. So that's it. There's my 2 videos for the day. And my feelings as always. Late night sessions with Andrew. I think that's what we're going to call this. Late night deep sessions or something along those lines. I'll think of something. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Rest up. Peace. Keep making gains.